Shite. Here we go again. Yeah, I decided I might as well give the DLC of DMC Devil May Cry a quick look. This is going to be quite a shorter review, obviously. I guess you could consider it an epilogue to my original review, in a sense. I thought, you know what? Let's just look into this DLC before we move on to bigger and better things. So here we go. As the title says, it is a wee little campaign where we play as our favourite character from the main game. This lovely gentleman. It picks up right after Vergil got his ass smacked around by Dante, and yeah, he falls into hell at the start, I guess. He's told by his ma Eva that he's dead, and yeah, that is pretty shit for him. Anyway, yeah, we got some hacking away to do again. Vergil's moveset in this DLC is interesting, actually. I wasn't expecting him to have as a versatile moveset as Dante. He never does, not even in the games where he's actually cool, which is all of them except this one. But you already knew that. There were some pretty neat aspects to him, and clearly Itsuno and his team saw it, since many of the reboot Vergil's fighting techniques would later be transferred to the main Vergil when the classic series did return, such as his ability to use a summoned sword to teleport right towards an enemy. In the reboot, however, you can also teleport enemies towards you. And yeah, this is pretty much the same as Dante in the main game, yanking enemies with that funky fucking grapple yoke he had. But I like this more because it makes Vergil look swift and badass. Words that can't really be used to describe this wonderfully placed piece of shit version of the character, but nevertheless, I do like this. That wasn't the only thing to get transferred. Slamming the fucking ground move, aka Helm Splitter, was never possible with the Yamato before. He had to use the Force Edge, but now he has one with his main sword, and that is class. And a necessity too, since this fucker doesn't get any other weapons. Now, I know Vergil doesn't have much of a rich arsenal. The only melee weapons he's ever had are Yamato, Beowulf, the hand-to-hand weapon, and the Force Edge, which he always dual-wielded with. In this, however, he uses Yamato at different speeds, light and heavy. Yeah, I know the way I just described it sounds like it's a significant downgrade, but nah, the combat, as I said, is pretty good. Now, I don't mean to sound like a little nitpicky bitch here, but I don't like the fact that the angel attack is just the rapid slash. I don't know. I just feel like it would have been cool if he had some kind of angelic combo with the Yamato or something, instead of, you know, just being his forward attack in the other games. The lack of devil arms, I am very sure, was just a lack of budget, to be honest. But I do think in some ideal world where DMC Devil May Cry got all the love and attention it potentially deserved in that particular universe, he would have got all those devil arms and he would have looked like a formidable foe to Dante in a sequel. Well, look might be strong enough a word. Anyway, what is the crack with this fucker? So as I said earlier, Vergil dies, and then afterwards he goes on a self-discovering journey of him finding out why he's a proper gobshite. He meets what I assume are phantom versions of Kat and Dante, and Eva, his ma, is actually here since, you know, she's dead too. And she's, you know, all clear and proper. Interestingly, this version of her appeared physically in a game before the classic version of her did. That's pretty mad, isn't it? Gotta say, it's a pretty shite deal for an angel to end up in hell. It might have something to do with Mundus killing her, or maybe the fact she sired some children off a demon. Or maybe during this entire story, Vergil is just drooling on a grave and he didn't die at all. Which is now my headcanon, now that I said that. Whatever the strange realm or afterlife was, it was a pretty odd choice of setting. It would have been pretty class to fight in the real world against demons, since Limbo and the real world bled into one at the end of the main game. But yeah, again, probably just the restricted budget. But the level design of this DLC is shite. The arenas are too small, and I had the same issue I had with Mission 17 in the main game, where the environmental hazards were fucking me up proper like. I don't know though. Maybe I just wasn't paying much attention. I will admit that while I have played the main game quite a few times, this was like only the 4th time I've ever touched this. I never played it on PC until this review, which surprised even me since I had no save when I started it up. Pure madness, These cutscenes are pure gas-like, and I don't actually hate them. I didn't really like the cutscenes of the main game, but yeah, I don't mind this change up at all. It does have that weird dissonance that a lot of games do have with this kind of thing, but they're not that bad overall. Vergil's a real whinge in this too, I gotta say. Like, I know he's resentful that Kat likes Dante more than him. Probably because he didn't say the path is clear for us to rule and, you know, ruin the day for everyone. Or could be all that other heinous shit. Look what I found in the trunk of the car. But Yeah. Vergil ends up killing the Cat Spectre and then the Dante one. And don't be getting too excited here. No, there isn't a Dante boss. Again, I'm pretty sure it was because it had a fuck all budget, but at the same time, I was well pissed. And back when this came out, there was still no way to play as Vergil fighting Dante. And now you can in 2 games. Class. When it comes to bosses, yeah, there wasn't much. A noticeably worse fight against Vergil himself, instead now called Hollow Vergil. And yes, if you have read or watched Bleach, this shit is gonna sound very similar. It is very strange and quite shite. Once you beat him, you get Vergil's Devil Trigger, and unlike Dante's, it isn't crap. But I gotta say, when he does get his amulet back, his redesign is something else. He's a proper mess now, like, Jesus fucking Christ, lad. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this fucker needs to find that hat again. Pronto. Anyway, yeah, he looks as ugly as your ma, but his Devil Trigger is handy as it activates Doppelganger. Yeah, say what you want about this iteration of Vergil, they really did take a lot of aspects from him in the gameplay department, which I'm okay with. So, is the DLC good? If Vergil wasn't already playable in games after 3 SE, I'd probably be saying yes, but nah. Even though I do appreciate the ideas that Ninja Theory brought to the table with the Devil May Cry games that were released after this one, that's just it. I know I did sound like I was shitting on DMC a lot before, but I kinda love the game now in a weird way. Kinda how you like McDonald's. It's bad for you and you feel like shit afterwards, but you know, it was fun in the moment. The reboot Dante has a very different fighting style to the original Dante. His weapons, his unrefined way of fighting. The dude almost tumbles just doing the standard combo. All of that shit was well good. There is a very good reason to revisit DMC because this Dante fights differently to the main Dante, and I do actually mean that in a good way. And that is why I see this game in a different light now. Originally, DMC was supposed to be a replacement of the original series. And yeah, fans were pretty vocal about how they did not want that to be the case. And man, the 8th console generation for me was just rough. Several of my favourite gaming franchises just ended up having some very disappointing and sometimes bastardized sequels. And when those rumours started in 2017 saying that Devil May Cry 5 was actually happening, I was pretty skeptical. At the time as well, Capcom are starting to have a pretty sketchy track record. I just showed Dead Rising 4 there, but Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite was another disaster. And hell, Dante appears in that game, but I thought like Morrigan and Felicia, he was only going to appear in crossover games from that point onwards. But when Itsuno and Matt Walker went up on stage at E3 2018 and proudly shouted that DMC is back, man, funnily enough, it was the same E3 that Microsoft announced that they'd bought Ninja Theory. And when the game was announced, I was like, haha, fuck Ninja Theory, look at that, Devil May Cry is back right in front of you lads. But no, that wasn't the right mindset to have. Itsuno has not been secretive of the fact that he liked DMC a lot. And like I said in this review and the previous one, the developers clearly took a lot of inspiration from the reboot. If it wasn't for DMC, Devil May Cry 5 wouldn't have been the masterpiece that it deserved to be.